Welcome to episode 6 of Getting to Grips with Tread Media. This episode is brought to you by Zini Bicycles. And today we are speaking to Joggie Prinsloo, who is the SCOTT brand manager in South Africa. But most specifically in this interview, we're going to be talking about his management of the winning Cape Epic team this year, SCOTT SRAM, which obviously was Nino, Schurter and Filippo, Colombo. And we're going to find out a bit about the insights behind that win, as well as some of the some more information about Nino Schurter, because Joggie knows him quite well. Welcome to the studio, Joggie.
Sean, thanks for having me.
Welcome to Joburg.
Yeah.
Your favorite place.
It's 2 weeks now, so it's good.
Sinusitis central for you.
Yeah.
So Joggie, you've been managing the SCOTT SRAM, or the SCOTT team. It obviously hasn't always been SCOTT SRAM, but it's been different co-sponsors over the years since 2013, so a long time. And you have won 3 titles in that time, in most recently this year. How important is winning the Cape Epic to SCOTT as a brand?
Sean, I think Cape Epic is Cape Epic. It's the biggest platform for mountain biking in the world. I think with SCOTT Sports, the DNA for SCOTT Sports being really racing orientated, and the fact that we have the best riders in the world with the best platforms, and especially developing after product, I do think it's quite important for us to showcase that we can play in that field and we can actually be on top.
Our featured product for this episode of Getting to Grips is the Zini 29er mountain bike. Now, you might not have heard of Zini much, but do you remember the Zini brand at all?
Vaguely. Yeah.
Okay. It was more of a road bike brand in the 1980s, steel frame road bikes. And it really, it kind of faded away. But
yeah, they were affordable. I remember that.
Yeah. And, there was a lot of locally made road bikes in those days because there wasn't a lot of bikes that we could bring in from overseas because of sanctions and things. So Omnico, which is the biggest bicycle distributor company in South Africa, or bicycle industry distributor, they revived the brand a couple of years ago. So they've got kids' bikes and mountain bikes.
The kids' range, yes.
Yeah, you've seen the kids' range, yeah. Really affordable, well-made, durable. And they've also got a couple of 29ers, a couple of hardtails, and one is the Elite and the other one is the Trail. And they're really well priced. The Elite sells for 15,000 Rand and the Trail for 11,000 Rand.
That's really great value for money.
It's great value when you consider that there's a 1x drivetrain on both from Shimano. The cheaper one, the Trail, has a 1x10 drivetrain, and the other one, the Elite, has a 1x12 drivetrain, also from Shimano. They've both got hydraulic disc brakes from Shimano and an air fork, which is lockoutable.
And that's ideal for somebody wanting to get into the sport. Not wanting to invest or overinvest initially in case they don't like mountain biking. So I think that's a really good option. Yeah,
so it's another local brand that's done a really good job of creating a mountain bike that is well priced, durable, reliable, and you can check out these bikes, the Zini 29er bikes on zinibike.co.za. And what sort of budget? I mean, you probably can't give us specifics, but is there a big commitment in budget from SCOTT for the Cape Epic?
So the budget comes out of SCOTT SRAM's budget.
The racing team itself.
Out of the team budget. There is quite a big budget for us. It, in the words of Frushi, whatever it takes, make sure we win this. So
that includes paying for you as the manager, a chef, I guess.
There's staff expenses, and then we have expenses that can, with things breaking or getting hold of stuff or making sure there's ice or flying from one side to the other side to get there in time, anything it takes.
Okay. And do you mostly use local staff, or do you get a combination of international and locals?
I think we're trying to keep it the same with the staff that's around Nino for the year, or around the team for the year. So we will also have a local staff that we can bring in that can be relevant, like our chef is local. That's also the chef that will be looking after the food side of the gravel burn. So quite proud of that we could contribute to that. But keeping the staff around the team makes sense. So we fly the staff in, like Yannick and Julia, the physio. It makes a lot more sense to keep things as stable as possible.
And you obviously book like accommodation in advance. You don't book into hotels, do you? You book into more sort of houses.
Yeah, it's crazy. We spoke about how Epic changed over the years. You know, Epic, when we did it the first time, was camper vans, and we kind of still had a little barbecue in between all these camper vans. So that was kind of epic.
Yes.
And evolving and becoming like a more competitive environment where everything needs to be perfect. It makes a lot more sense to find accommodation en route as close as possible.
Yes.
So we go bed and breakfast, maybe Airbnb. It makes a lot more sense. And the closer to Stellenbosch, then we'll use Nino's accommodation for the Epic.
What do you mean Nino's accommodation?
He's got property in Stellenbosch.
Okay.
So the closer to home, the more comfort.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the more control you've got over everything as well. So.
Nino started 10 Cape Epics. He did not finish the one. I think it was 2018. I think his teammate got sick. Is that right?
Yes. Matthias Dunneman. That was epic.
Oh, so he won 2017 with Matthias, and then 2018.
We went back to defend, and then
Okay.
Matthias fell ill
Okay.
on stage 3.
Yes. Yeah. And his first Cape Epic, Nino's, was in 2010, and he's had 7 different teammates. Which do you feel has been his most compatible teammate?
It's
Well, let's just go through them all. In 2010 and 2013, he was teamed up with Florian Vogel, another Swiss rider. In 2014, Phil Bass, the South African. 2017, Sterneman, who is Dutch.
no, Swiss.
Swiss, okay, Swiss. And they won it. And then the following year was Sterneman, but a DNF. Then Lars Forster twice, and they won in 2019, and I think second or third in 2022. Then Andre Frischknecht, Sebastian Finney, and then Filippo Colombo. So, yeah, which do you think has been the most compatible for him?
Without a doubt, I have to say Filippo Colombo, without a doubt.
Why do you say that?
I think the dynamics between them, in 2022, we did an event, the two of them together. Filippo was still with BMC, and we did the Tankwa, I think that's called.
Yes, the
Tankwa
track.
track, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was only 3 of us, and we stayed together, and we had fun, and you could see the dynamics between them for a possible future Cape Epic together will work.
Okay.
That's where we immediately kind of saw this can work.
Yes.
And with Nino as well, Nino will never, there's a lot of stories about Nino killing his partner, which is not the truth at all. He will push your limits, absolutely.
Yeah.
That is Nino. In everything he does, he will push your limits. But taking Filippo now to that absolute limit in a rider that's so prepared and so calculated is just a perfect combination. They've got huge respect for each other. There's a friendship. It makes a lot of sense for us.
And does it help if his teammate is Swiss, do you think?
I think in communication during the race, when they can speak their language, yes, definitely. Last year, we had Filippo, we had Sebastian Finney and Nino.
Yes.
Also an amazing combination. They're good friends.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a different dynamic in the whole team.
Yeah, because there was a charity, a team with a charity brand,
Yeah.
and not their specific brand. So
World Bicycle Relief, yeah.
that was the first time you've done that, right?
Yes.
And I guess it works if you can't find a partner from your own stable that's suitable at the right time.
Yeah, I think it wasn't about finding a partner. It was more about the cause for raising funds for World Bicycle Relief at that time.
Okay. Interesting.
So that was obviously the goal, and that was the whole driving force behind.
Yeah, Nino is now getting closer to the end of his career. So his contribution to the industry is something that's on his heart.
Yes.
And he wants to use everything to his ability to contribute to the world. And everything that cycling can change lives, and that's important to him.
So thinking beyond himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he used to be very. He's very approachable. He's very seems to be very accessible these days. He never used to be as accessible. You know, obviously at a race, you know, you can go up to him and talk, which is great. But you know, he seems to be more open to doing more charitable things and, you know, leaving a legacy, I suppose.
Yeah, there's a stage. I think we see it with most of these big athletes. You see it now at the moment with Roger Federer as well. At some point, it's giving back. You know, where the series of performance becomes something different.
Yes.
And that legacy becomes important.
Interesting. So let's talk a little bit about this year's Cape Epic. The victory, the Italians, Brada and Avendetto, they must have surprised you guys a little. I mean, I guess you expected them to be contenders early on, but not for the entire race because, I mean, they're cross-country races.
Yeah, going into the preparation of the Epic, it wasn't the first names that came to mind when we knew we were going to compete. We thought at that stage, Matt Beers coming to the Epic with a strong partner like Keegan is something that's we need to take note of. But during the Epic, you know, this is probably the only guys we've never raced on the Epic.
Yes.
So
it was their first Epic as well.
It's their first Epic as well. And we don't know. We knew they were explosive. We know they're XCO riders. We know they're technical riders. So everything that we've got to get away, they've got.
Yeah.
But the problem was we didn't know what to expect of the combination between the two. Luckily, Filippo is Swiss Italian, so he could understand whenever they had a chat on the bike and there was something wrong, Filippo could capitalize and he could convey that message immediately to Nino. So, but the problem there was we never knew when they will explode.
Okay.
We were expecting it much earlier, to be honest.
Especially with the heat.
But amazing talented. To see this is really good for the sport.
Yeah, they set the race alight, actually. I mean, it was a nice, unexpected surprise, really, to have those guys contending. And I guess they'll be back. I mean, if they come seconds by such a small margin, I'm sure they're going to come try and win it again.
They'll be back. I think for them being the first time in Africa as well. One of them, I think, Breda has been to Africa, but first time in Africa, this conditions this year was really extreme.
Yes.
And from one extreme to the other, it was
they managed. They somehow, we call them the spaghettis. They somehow managed, and it was really amazing to see.
It was cool competition.
Yeah. And then, so your team's only apparent weakness was on the second last stage when Filippo had an issue with his gels. He dropped them or he lost them or something. Can you give us a bit more detail on that?
We can, if we want to call it a weakness, but you know, the second last day, the second last day of the Epic is also quite a strategic day because we know going into the last day, that's where the decision can be made. I mean, we've lost the Cape Epic half an hour before the finish line the previous year or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's never over until we finish on day 7, and we know that. So the second last day can be a strategic playing a bit of games in a sense of getting the other teams to commit to a stage win or maybe getting away from us to get them to spend more so that we have the next day.
Yeah.
So that was kind of in the back of our minds. But also taking a risk like that, something can go wrong. Like Filippo at that stage, first time racing with camelbacks, and the zip, unfortunately, on the front wasn't completely closed.
Okay.
And the gels dropped out. So, and then sharing of gels with Nino really needing it at that stage. It was a bit complicated and we didn't know, so we couldn't hand it over. Yeah. I immediately phoned Barry Austin when I saw he dropped and asked Barry what's going on. And Barry said to me, he can promise me it's nutrition. And Filippo is prepared.
Why Barry?
Barry is Filippo's coach.
Okay.
And he knows Filippo's inside out. So before the Epic, we spoke to him.
Yes. Okay.
The ability and where what can happen.
Okay, so he knew it was
He immediately said to me, I can tell you it's nutrition.
Okay.
Sure.
So you lost a bit of time on that stage, but and the race became even closer.
It came down to 32 seconds, I think.
Yeah, I think I wrote 32 seconds lead going into the final stage, which was shortened.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that played in your favor or not.
Maybe with 2 XCO riders that can actually smell the win. The Italians, it maybe didn't play into our favors. When we heard it, we were all happy because we could have watched the start of the Formula One.
Yes.
So we all went back to the accommodation to watch the Formula One. But maybe going into it and seeing that it shortened, the thought of came up like, oh, we're going to lose this maybe on the last day. It did come up. And, on the second last day, one of the Italians dropped a chain. So that also played into our favor because that 32 seconds could have been a different story.
More, yeah.
It could have been a different story.
Sure.
But on the nutrition there, I remember being at the finish line and Filippo, I've never seen anybody inhale rice. Like he was just shoveling. They were calling him for prize giving. He was just he's walking with his plate of rice.
Yeah.
So it was just like, a sight to behold. He was like,
that's also one of the key signs that we look at. If the riders come over the line, do they eat immediately? Because, epic racing the stage is one thing, but the recovery process afterwards is more important. Yeah. So we keep a close eye on, are they actually eating and how much they eat? And Barry Austin, he checked in quite often. Did he eat? What did he eat? He needs to eat this amount of carbs. Make sure he does this. So that was amazing for me. Yeah. And it's probably the first time that I had a coach on the sideline. I picked up the phone and I say, Barry, talk to me. Yeah. So that was amazing.
Okay, interesting. And, this was, I was interested to see because Nino's career, if he started his Cape Epic racing in 2010, it's 15 years ago. So he's been through a whole generation of races. He's raced with a whole generation of racers who did not value carbs this highly in racing. Has he adopted this high carb strategy in his racing as well? Because it looks like that's the norm now in bicycle racing. Has he adopted it, or does he still do a bit of old school supplementation?
No. So if there's anything that's new that works, Nino will know about it. It's the one guy that's really goes out of his way to investigate, to do research, to find out where and how and what is better for him. So he is on the front end, that I can tell you. It's probably the most calculated guy I know in any sense.
Yeah, and maybe even more so as he gets older because he's still got to find his edge or not lose his edge, I guess. So, yeah, he doesn't want to drop any balls or leave anything to chance.
100%.
Yeah. So he is doing on the bigger carb supplementation now in the races.
Yeah, I can't really comment on that 100%.
Okay.
But it's highly likely.
He does his own thing. He knows what to do.
He knows exactly what to do.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's definitely an expert.
Yeah. And you mentioned first time wearing camelbacks. That wasn't even the hot stage. It was just did they wear camelbacks in the hot stages as well, or just in that very muddy stage?
Sean, it depends on the stage. It depends on the heat. It depends on where strategic water points are.
Okay.
Do we carry bottles in the first point? Do we give them a small bottle in the beginning where we want to attack and make it hard, and then give them a camelback for the rest of the stage? So it all depends strategically where we want to place and where we want to, control the race and how we want to do it.
Yeah. And so do you discuss this the night before at a meeting or the morning of the race, or how does it work? When you obviously say, okay, these guys must be either looking like a threat, so this is our plan, or we need to attack, or we need to be defensive. Does that all happen before, like the night before, or how does it work?
For us, it's like a story. It starts at stage one. So we can already then see in the preparation even, you can see what athletes can be strong where. We know Matt Beers is there. He can outrun a motorbike if he wants to. So the reality is it all depends on what's happening during the stage. After the stage, we will start discussing it. Like, did we see weaknesses, what happened? And then during the night after dinner, we always have like a team meeting where we discuss who can be strong, who's the perfect riders for the next day, where can we do what to make sure that we're in play there. And then we will kind of like discuss that the next morning, just on pointers. Guys, remember at 34 kilometers, this can happen, or scenario. We're trying to play out scenarios with whoever can be the strongest and who's the threat to the yellow jersey. And,
the heat can be an issue at the Cape Epic, as we've seen. Is your team here quite a long time before the race to adapt to the heat?
Yeah, Nino is almost South African.
Yeah.
He's close. He's got some Afrikaans words that he can use, like braaibroodjies and and bliksem and stuff like that. So we try to. It's the perfect training ground for them. Stellenbosch offers everything, and he absolutely loves it, and that's why he's invested there. But they are here usually from early January till just before the Epic, and then they go home and get everything ready that side.
Yeah.
And then they fly back in. So they're used to the weather and the heat. I mean, these guys will do 4 passes on a day in the middle of Feb.
Sure.
Where it will be much harder than...
Okay.
And how well do they analyze the route? I mean, because that, to me, that would be key. You know, if you're going along a district road and you know you're going to be turning into a piece of single track, you want to be in the front, clearly. You know, I mean, do they know the route backwards?
So we're lucky in a sense with that. I think that's one of the competitive edges, if I can say that we have, because Nino knows every single mountain bike road or, you know, track that you've got in this region. So as long as the Epic, and he's done it before, his memory is amazing. Sure. He will remember it. He will go like, I remember we did this in 2017 coming down. So his memory is actually really good with that. So, and from time to time, if he wonders about it, he will find out. He will ask someone, ask Bobby Bian from Specialized, been a great help. If we want to know something in the region, we phone him and we ask him. Okay. He's got a good friendship with Nino, so Nino always ask him. So we know exactly where what happened. And then from time to time in the managers meeting, they would say, tomorrow's stage, they will always, Cape Epic's really good with this. They will discuss tomorrow's stage with us. And they will say, on 34 kilometers, there's quite technical downhill. Make sure riders know about it. At the bottom, there's a berm. So that's opportunity to get away because we can stretch it out. So we will then convey that to the riders. During the meeting, we will listen to it and then go back to the riders with that.
And often you've had a backup team in the Cape Epic. Not always, but most epics, I think you've had a backup team. This year you didn't have a backup team. So that means your equipment choices have to be really important to reduce the risk of something going wrong. And then if something does go wrong, you have to reduce the risk of time loss. How did you go about that this year?
So we've managed over the years, yes, we had backup teams, but sometimes when there's damage, it's too big to even use a backup team to chase it back. So there is complication. There is definitely this, who do we choose? Can those riders ride in the front with Nino and Filippo? That's the question. Then splitting the team in 2, risking the other guys not to perform the rest of the year is also an issue for us. So that's kind of like a catch-22. How do we do it? I will never forget this. The night before Epic, I asked Nino, do we have everything? Are you sure? Are you happy? And he said, can you get us a backup team? So there was obviously plans for us. We were in a bit of negotiations with a local team. The Mbuko guys that's done phenomenal. We actually knew that this is the guys, if there's a team in South Africa that can do it. But unfortunately, it didn't work out for us, and it worked out well for them, which we're super happy about for them.
Yeah, they had a great race.
But a backup team, there is scenarios, we plowed scenarios. So if we flat on stage 2, where do we chase it back in the week? If we lose 2 minutes, where's the opportunity to chase it back? In the past, Nino would flat, get on the bike, and chase so hard.
Straight away.
Okay. Now we've actually looked at it and said, listen, it's 6 days. There is time to chase it back. Where do we do it? So every scenario we kind of can have, we play it out. That's quite important. And I think the most important point is our trust in our product. I think from the tires, you know, we had so many flats in 2021, 22. We had quite a few flats. And after that, the research and development with our partners like Max's has been phenomenal. And they really, really gave us a product that we believe in, that we will race. And this year, again, no flats. So it's also that super confidence in our product that we use and that we choose.
And I think if you ride at the front, there's also less risk of a flat. So, you know, it's also...
You can choose your line,
Yeah, it's positioning, you know. I remember Barry Stander saying that. It's like, if you're riding behind other people, you've got a higher risk of puncturing. Obviously, those are on the old epics where there was more stony routes and that. These days it's a lot more man-made single track, so probably less risk of puncturing, but there's always a risk of puncturing in a mountain bike race. It never goes away, I guess.
Just look at Avendetto that dropped the chain.
Yeah.
There's always some sort of, it's Cape Epic.
Yeah, and I mean,
It's mountain biking.
It's
a
mountain.
one-bar drivetrain is not meant to really drop. It's very unusual for that to happen. So, you have to be prepared mentally to stay calm and sort it out if you can. But the race is close these days. It's really tight. It used to be won by minutes in the old days, and nowadays it's, seconds.
Which is exciting. This is what we want.
Great
For us,
for the event.
2017, we dominated. I think we won 5 of the stages.
Yeah.
But we choose to race at this level where it's really close. It also pushes the edge of the sport. It keeps people interested.
Yeah.
It gives us views, which we
Good
want.
for the media.
Yeah.
It's really good for us. So.
And speaking of that, this was the first Cape Epic victory on the current SCOTT Spark. Do you feel that, I think it was a third and a second as well on that bike, but this was the first win. Do you notice any change in sales of the bike after a Cape Epic win at all?
Sean, I think something like this, although it's important for the brand, I do think people are not going to necessarily make a choice based on that, but it does influence the decision making. We were lucky. Before Epic, we posted John Gale, 21 Cape Epics, the reliability of doing 11 Cape Epics on the same Spark, SCOTT Spark. That is phenomenal. So there was for us 2 avenues that we've used in marketing to give the consumer, to influence their decision on
confidence.
Show them why a SCOTT.
So reliability and performance.
Reliability, performance.
Yeah.
Even during the muddy stages, Loudensford is always wet. It's always muddy. You want performance on suspension, and the internal suspension allows that. So things like this, it's quite important to us. So yes, it does influence their decision making, but I do think it's a platform for us to work from and to be able to.
No, you can build on it.
We build on it.
And do you feel the modern Cape Epics, which have so much single track and more man-made trails, are better than the older ones, which were more adventurous and more endurance focused?
It's quite a good question. We thought Paul will be a little bit more exciting than it was. Maybe at some point it's maybe a little bit too manicured, but the rest of it was really good, and the guys enjoyed it. Tolbach last year, for instance, it's tough, but the guys enjoy it. It's natural trails, a little bit more natural trails, but we can't question the Epic at all on it. I think they've done a phenomenal job to be able to have 7 days on a race like this, and with trails like this, it's
and sort of just back to post stage at the Epic. Joe posted some videos of the guys in the baths, in the ice baths. Do they get in the ice baths after every stage, or just the very hot ones?
So the answer to that, Sean, it's high performance, and recovery is important. So after every stage, there was ice bath. I think there was one stage, even stage 6, we had ice bath.
Okay.
Ice bath recovery is important. The sooner in the ice bath after the stage, the better.
Really? Eh?
Food, ice bath.
Okay. And from a food perspective, your chef has prepared their post-stage food beforehand, so as soon as they finish and have cleaned up, they can start eating.
Yeah, the sooner the better. And the boys usually it's a good sign. When they're off the bike, they're hungry. So that's a good sign. When an athlete is not hungry, you have an issue. The body is starting to make a call,
Okay, so and massage, is massage still a thing? Do they get a daily massage as well?
Stretching, massage, sometimes twice.
Okay.
Nino likes in the afternoon, and then he goes for a nap, and we go for dinner, and then maybe a flush after dinner again.
Okay.
That's definitely, recovery is the most important thing.
But it's tricky because when they come over the finish line, there's the whole media contingent and the TV interviews, and I can see they're actually really calm, but you can see they want to get on. They want to get on with what they need to do for their recovery. But I mean, compliments to you guys as well for keeping them calm in that situation when cameras are shoved in their faces, and they're really cool. But you can see they just want to get the interviews over and get on with their recovery.
Yeah, I think important, even doesn't matter. That's one thing that I think Nino has raised the bar on, how important it is after a stage, engaging with media, how important it is for us as a brand and for our partners like Max's and Syncross and Corner Guard. That's quite important. And then from there, Nino Filippo is also quite good at that, engage with fans. Yeah. If you've just spent 4 hours in the red winning a stage and you have a fan standing there 2 days and you don't go there, and that's something that I have to give to the boys. They're really good at it. Spend time after the time trial or the first day, spend time with the school kids that arrived there, and he finished all of the photos and all of the signing sessions. I mean, that took him 30, 40 minutes standing there and really spending time with his fans.
Sure. And just back to the bikes again, tire pressure, obviously each rider has his own preferences, and it depends on the tires and probably the stage. And the weather, as far as I know, the tire pressure goes up a bit if it's hotter. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Nino, he likes to run at low pressure, really low. It's just his style. Yes. The technical ability that he's got of running clean is just next level.
What does he run? What tire pressure does he run?
I can't.
That state secret.
No. It's Yannick, between him and Yannick, they sort it out. And from day to day, you can see they have a discussion about it, about the stage. Yeah. But from day to day, they have a discussion about actually before the stage. So
that's cool.
Interesting. And do you feel like Nino still got a lot of fire to win more Cape Epics? I mean, he's 39 now,
Yeah, after Brazil, there was quite an interesting, and I know he won't mind me saying this, there was quite an interesting post that he made of, maybe getting too old or maybe, and I sent him a message. I said to him, you've got nothing more to prove. The reality is you've done everything. Yeah. And your contribution to our industry has just been phenomenal. You've left a legacy already. Your legacy is huge. So there's nothing more to prove. Don't be too hard on yourself. And his reply to me was, I really still want to win. So is the fire dead? No. Do I believe that he's got the ability to still win? Yes. I spoke to one of the other riders once, and he said to me, even though Nino is not maybe the strongest rider anymore, his ability to read into situations is just phenomenal. Yeah. So he can capitalize. He's so smart that he can capitalize on that. He can hear whenever there's a gear that's changed the wrong way, he can capitalize. There will be a situation.
So he relies on his experience.
100%.
Yeah. And, for 15 years, the SCOTT brand has had Nino. So, I mean, is there a succession plan, do you think, in terms of someone like Tom Pidcock, who's now on a SCOTT road bike?
I think Nino's been there for more than 15 years.
Yeah, longer than, but
8 years old. Or?
Yeah, actually, is most of his life. But
but
from what we're aware, when we first noticed Nino.
These phenomenal athletes, in my opinion, that comes along, it's one of a kind. You're not just going to get another rider coming along will be able. Pidcock is phenomenal. But in a different way. Yeah. Same with Vanderpool. These guys are next level. Tade as well. But will there be another Nino that's been so authentic in his way that kind of color in the XCO industry for us, or the XCO races? I don't think so. The way he's done it is just, it's so organic and it's so natural for him, the way he did it. And he wrote the script for XCO and where it's going,
Yeah.
So succession plan, we're always looking for a new young rider that can fill it, but can fill the shoes of Nino? I don't think so.
And, the most Cape Epics won by a male and a female, actually. No, the female's extended
Female
now
is
to
more.
6. So Annika Langvat's now got 6 epic wins. Nino has 3, and the other men, Platt and Sousa, have 5 each. Has that been a benchmark that he's aiming at all? Do you think he's just going to see how it goes? I mean, he could have probably won a couple of more if he hadn't had a bit of bad luck or an ill teammate or something like that. So, but I guess all Cape Epic riders could say that, because no two Cape Epics are the same.
Sean, the difference here is Nino's got a full season of XCO racing at the highest level. With world champs being quite late in the year, or even during Olympic year, he was racing epic.
Yeah.
So where I feel the other riders that's got the records already for Cape Epic, that's their focus for the year. That was their main focus.
Yes.
Although I do think Annika can do a lot more. She's just so talented.
Yeah.
What she's achieved it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And same with Cole Platt and same with Susie. I think in the back of Nino's head, that's one record that I think he would like. It's not super important, but if he can have it, he'll take it. Susie being Swiss and Nino being Swiss, and that's the one thing.
Yeah.
It's always a little bit of healthy
Susie's
competition.
also got a marathon world title, which Nino doesn't have yet. So do you think he's ever considered a marathon world champs?
I don't. Nino does well at the things that he can do well.
Okay.
Can he do it? I think so. I think especially at this age.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Who knows?
Not out of the question. Could still do it.
Yeah, I think for sure. Can Nino win another Cape Epic with a strong partner? It will be harder, but I think it's possible.
So are the plans loosely in place for him to race next year with Colombo again? Another Cape Epic?
Loosely is quite a word. We're the defending champions.
And obviously Colombo's still in the team next year, so it makes sense.
Not coming back. There must be some real focus for. We also, Cape Epic is not our season. Cape Epic is part of our season.
Yes.
Although it's a massive race that we love Cape Epic and we would love to win it again. I do think it's part of the season. So is it part of the plan? It depends on next year, how the end of this season goes. What's the possibilities for next year? I do think Filippo is leaning more over to XCO winning on XCO level because I think he's got the ability. So, but we're the defending champions. Not coming back there must be really something that pushes us aside for that.
And some riders seem to have it difficult in the XCO season if they do a Cape Epic, some XCO riders. But Colombo seems to be okay. He's right at the front end or the sharp end of the cross country races. So he seems to be one of those riders that maybe isn't affected by the Cape Epic. Or do you think it might have affected him a bit?
In one of the interviews, someone asked Filippo, after Cape Epic for the rest of the season, are you worried about your legs being pushed as hard by Nino? And he said that was quite. It was if he's tired after the Epic, it will be because of the standard of racing that's happening on a daily basis at Epic. Okay. In the past, if you look at Epic, the way the diesel engines have done it, like Susie and like Cole, they're always kind of like finished on top, but they started early, slower, Yeah. The tempo wasn't that explosive, which our guys came in and they kind of revisit how we can win the Epic, and that's by being explosive.
From day one.
Yeah, before the diesel of those guys get hot or warmer, we need to
have a gap.
Because if they start, they're not going to end.
Yeah.
It's like Galavi as well. So that's the difference in the two different, and it's actually how the Epic evolved into the super exciting. Because I think that's what happened, right? Epic became something that people don't want to miss. If you look at their views on a daily basis, it's amazing. It's better than watching any movie.
No, it's compelling viewing.
Compelling viewing.
This year, Matt Beers and Keegan Swenson, obviously they didn't have the Cape Epic that they were hoping for. I guess everybody else's performance is out of your team's control, but it must it must help a bit to know that one of your main rivals that you're expecting is struggling a bit. Is there any times where you might collaborate with another team to assist you at all? I mean, is there kind of, I know in road racing at the highest level, there's sometimes there's a bit of collaboration. If a rider wants to win a stage and the other guy wants to just gain time in the GC, does that happen in a race like the Cape Epic at all?
Definitely. There's from time to time, there will always be a team that start talking on the finish line, that will start talking about, if there's a possibility for them to win a stage to help us, pull us further away in the yellow jersey, then, if it's the same equipment, you have to think about that as well. And that's where the backup team came into play. But now these days, I mean, there was a team that came to us and said, listen, we would love a stage win. Is there a possibility? And like, well, and I also do think during the race, there is, without actually saying it, there's kind of like collaborations of guys that works together and it can see.
Yes.
That's definitely happening.
Yeah, it's not necessarily pre-planned, but it's spontaneous.
Spontaneous.
Unspoken.
Yeah.
And I unfortunately, I think Keegan, it's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Would have loved to see what that ability would have looked like with Pierce.
Yeah.
But also the first stage, that massive climb for them wasn't suitable, and we knew it.
It was a steep climb and quite
The
long.
Italians knew it. Imbuka knew it.
Yeah.
The younger, lighter riders,
Yes.
not younger, lightweight riders.
Yes.
That ability. Tristan was for sure the best climber in the Epic.
Sure.
His ability is just phenomenal.
That's great. It's actually sad. I see some marathon World Cups happening and no South African males competing there. And it'd be interesting to see how those Marco and Tristan would do at those races. Obviously, they're going to a different region, different environment, not their usual support structure in place, so it would be a challenge. But I think based on how they performed at the Epic this year, they'd be podium contenders at least at some of these World Cups, because they beat the guys that are winning them.
I definitely think so, Sean. Marco and Tristan. But the issue here is, first of all, we know the financial issue of our riders in South Africa. Let's say there is enough money, just the exchange rate at the moment.
It
So
kills them.
it's not really possible for these guys. And if it is, they will definitely perform. I don't think Marco Huber going to somewhere in Slovenia is not going to perform. He will perform. That I'm sure of. But also then keep in mind the season is long. They've just performed at the highest level at Cape Epic. What they've achieved at Cape Epic was
In a way,
mind-blowing.
it's almost the peak of their season.
That was the
culmination. Anything after that's a nice bonus. So, yeah. And do you think a team like Mbuko have a shot at winning the Cape Epic? They were about 9 minutes off the win this year, I think, or 11 minutes. Not far, but not close. Not close enough. Do you think they've got the potential to win this race?
Yes, I do think so. There's obviously a lot of factors that come into play. If they come into that 1 minute barrier where we will be and where the Italians might be, or let's say the German guys, then it's a different ball game. And that moment when you realize we can actually win this, two things can happen. It can either get you to explode, or it can help you win the race.
Yeah.
So also handling that.
Yeah.
Maybe Marco and Tristan still need to get to that point where that's kind of growing on them.
Yeah.
That ability of we can actually win it and really believing it.
Yeah.
But do they have the ability? For sure.
That's great. And from a female perspective, there's not, you've never really had, other than Jenny Risfitz in the mixed category, you've never really had a women's team in the Cape Epic with Scott.
No, we haven't. It's also, unfortunately, Scott, on our side, we're more XCO focused because it's the whole year. So it makes a lot more sense. And marathon racing is not that big in Europe or in the rest of the world for that matter.
Yeah.
So
It's only the South Africans that are endurance.
yeah. So our team, our SCOTT SRAM, we sign XCO riders.
Okay.
So to a sense, if you think about it, signing two ladies to an Epic it doesn't make sense of the rest of our strategy for the year.
Yeah.
Which is, in a way, something to think about, for sure. We love having a Candace,
Yeah.
with another lady winning a Cape Epic for Scott, if you think about it. Because she's got the ability, she can actually do it. But then, the rest of the season, it might have an impact on the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So where do you draw the line?
Yeah. Interesting. And I think with regards to Nino, he's obviously won the most World Cups of any cross-country racer in history. I think he won one last year, actually, Val de Sol. So he's won there quite a lot of times, actually. Do you feel that he's, based on the current racing standard in XCO and the fact that there's quite a lot of different riders now at the top, do you think he's got a shot at winning another World Cup before he retires?
Yes. Not because I'm biased. Obviously, he's a good friend of mine, so I'm a bit biased. But I think the driving side of Nino is just too big, and the fire is still there.
Yeah. And
maybe now a little bit more than a year ago, I would say.
Okay.
So I do think he's got the ability to win a World Cup this year. And three of his favorite courses are still coming.
Okay.
And Filippo?
Filippo will still win a few World Cups. That I'm sure of. Filippo, if you think about it, it's a complete rider. He's got the ability.
He seems very calm and composed, and knows what he knows what his
Sean,
objectives
it's
are.
probably one of the nicest people that I've met in my life.
Really, yeah.
He's really a super cool guy. In a stage of a Cape Epic where we go for the win at the water point, he makes a point of it, saying thank you.
Sure.
Afterwards, he's a really nice guy.
Okay.
That's good to hear.
A nice fast rider.
No, nice fast rider.
And obviously you've become quite good friends with Nino over the years. What can you tell us about Nino that most people might not know?
Keep it PG.
Yeah. There's so much to say about it, but if I can give one answer, if you like Nino on the bike, you would love him off the bike. That's one thing about Nino. He's on the stage of world cycling, who he is. It's just, that's not the best side of Nino, for sure.
Okay.
There's a deep side of Nino that's, where he's an amazing father, really a good.
Yeah.
He's an amazing father. He's a great friend, and you can look around the people around him, how he really contributes to their life.
Okay.
I mean, to my life in so many ways. Whenever I run into really a situation where I'm not sure, I phone Nino.
Yeah.
And the reality is, his answer is always in such a way. It's sometimes he will say, "Oh, you need to think."
Yeah.
But it's really just so. That's a human being.
Yeah.
I think his success is who he is off the bike.
Yeah.
It's always like, in front of the curtain you can be someone, in the back you can be someone else.
Yes.
And I think that behind the curtain, who he really is, I wish for more people to see that part. A guy who absolutely love animals, who absolutely love kids, who love people around him and the world, and doing the right things for the right reasons. This year at the Epic, I've seen for the first time in a very long time how important it is to Nino to do the right thing, which is amazing.
Okay.
There was I don't think they'll mind saying this, but we came out of the interview and we had to do another TV interview, and there was time slots. So I obviously tried to make it as easy for them as possible before the Epic start. Pulled Nino through Filippo and Nino past the riders that were standing outside into the, where the interviews happen. And he said, "No, there's a queue." I said, "Nino, we've got time slots. You in this time." He's like, "Doesn't matter, there's a queue outside." And he went to the back of the queue and he stood in the back of the queue.
Sure.
And this just shows something,
Yes.
And more I see that in his life,
Okay.
which is quite exciting, because I know there's so many people that follow him, and he's now at a place where he's doing things that is important for mankind, more than just winning races.
Yes.
And that's really so good. It's really good to see.
Yeah. And when Nino does retire, will he stick around with the Scott brand doing other stuff? Like obviously Sauza has done something like that, and Ned Overend, both with Specialized, and even Annika, although she's come out of retirement. But is it in the plans, do you think?
I think Scott is in his DNA. If you think about it, it's the only rider in the world that's been with one brand his whole life.
Yeah.
So it's so deep that I don't think he will definitely be involved in some way.
Okay.
You know, like the Spark development that he's been involved with, hands-on.
Yeah.
And he loves it. So he will definitely be involved in some way. But I do think he's starting mountain biking and to grow the sport is important to him.
Yeah.
That's really important. So I think in that basis he will be involved. But being an angel investor in businesses, I think that's his main, and the helicopter hobby that he's got.
Nice little hobby.
Yeah, he loves it.
Yeah.
It brings another side out of him. The super responsible Nino when he's in the helicopter. Like, that's a good side to see.
I think that's on my bucket list for next year, having a helicopter flip with Nino.
Yeah.
Putting it out there, okay?
That's not a bad item on
My
your bucket list. Yeah.
I'm sure he'll say yes.
We've come to the end of the questions, but we've still got a bit of time. So,
But also, I mean, obviously, you're talking about him staying involved in the brand. I mean, your gravel bikes, do you think he's going to maybe try gravel, or is he like Sean and like just can't get his head around gravel, or trying to get his head around gravel?
You know, the gravel scene is moving so fast. It's growing. It's actually amazing what it's doing. He's got a gravel bike. Yeah. Will he get involved in the gravel scene of doing maybe a gravel race for fun? Yes.
So maybe as a personality.
You know, his life partner now at this moment, Milena Deng, she's phenomenal. She's really something for Scott as well now. She's on Scott now, and we use her as ambassador.
She won a marathon title at a national championship.
100%. So, you know, doing that together maybe, I think it's quite cool. But will it be a competitive? Well, Nino being competitive is always on the map. But I'm not sure I don't think so, no.
Not as a race.
Yeah. So not a...
You won't come out to Gravelburn to win it.
Yeah.
Just to experience.
It's just not... I don't think it's not his scene.
Yeah.
He's good at one thing, and I think that's...
Stuck to it, yeah. Incredible.
Emily is... You know, it's Bjorn and Emily is just two new kids on the team. Okay, and what they bring to the team is really a different side that we've never seen. And it makes the team fun. Yeah,
it's definitely less serious. It looks a little more edgy. You know, certainly Bjorn. I'm not sure about Emily so far because she's still trying to adapt, it looks like, and she had quite a bad fall. So, but it does look like it's a different energy.
Emily wants to win races. This we're sure. We are 100% sure of this. Not that anybody racing bikes don't want to win, but Emily's, you know, so starting to look at details of how to change. She's young, you know, it's first year elite. But that kind of...
How old is Emily?
She's now turned 23.
So young, yeah.
So, but what she brings to the sport, you know, also being American for us is, you know, she's a perfect picture of what can be, and I do think she will start winning races.
And what bike is she riding, racing?
So she is also on the Scott Spark World Cup. She's on the World Cup, a different color option. We obviously want to show people what the different colors are. We'll see now this weekend. You saw yesterday we just launched the new colorway for our team with the new Spark RC. So
I saw that.
Is
it like a greeny color?
That's the kit, eh? The new
kit and the new bike.
Yeah, they've got accents on the bike.
Yeah.
They've got the cool helmets.
Yeah.
I looked.
So I do think more and more, I mean, obviously all the brands are looking for a girl that can aspire or inspire more racing. You know, I think Candice has done a lot now in South Africa for South African cycling.
Yeah.
But you know, also Candice is now, I think she's 32.
33 maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So there's some years left there, but we need more.
Yeah.
Well, we've got Tyler coming through.
Tyler's coming through. That's quite exciting.
She's quite fun to watch on social media.
Yeah, she is.
That team is having an absolute jewel.
Yeah.
Which is that, like you say, with Emily, that energy that those youngsters are bringing into the sport, I think is
What I'm also noticing with the females in cross country is that they're quite they're being quite transparent with their social media posts about their personal struggles. Because I think, well, I know it's tough to be a pro athlete, and I think females they perform better when they're emotionally more stable. And I think and
We
it's
know
true.
this.
I mean, you
100%.
can look at all the top racers when they were emotionally stable, they performed better. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship with a partner. It can be other things in their life that might not be going so well. But and I think that clarity and that transformation and that insight. You look at Rebecca Henderson's posts and you think, gee whiz, you like start to realize there's a lot more that is happening behind the scenes. You just don't see a racer line up on the start and have a bad race. There's a lot more to it. And I think it's with all athletes, but males just seem to be able to shut some of the stuff out and just perform.
And they have less to deal with than the females. I'm sorry, but they do. I mean, from a physical being,
Yes. Yes.
men can just get on the bike and ride. They don't have menstrual cycles to deal with and all those things and body changing from month to month.
Yes.
Yeah,
and I think it's great that there's a female in the SCOTT team that's able,
that's
young
critical.
and probably can grow with the brand, and hopefully maybe add another one at some point. That's can maybe do the Cape Epic together.
Yeah.
Because
Back
if you
to
think
that.
about it, whenever I look at an entry list for a marathon world champs, if there's cross country races on there, I think, well, they're going to win because an endurance specialist just doesn't have the speed.
Yeah. It's a catch-22 because the XCO riders don't have maybe the hours in their legs,
Yes.
but they have the explosivity
Yeah.
and vice versa,
Yeah.
So.
But
so it all depends on the course as well.
So, but I think a coach like Barry Austin, I've noticed that his riders do some big distance. So even when they are not in the peak of the cross country season, they're doing like 4 or 5 hour rides. Maybe not high intensity, but they've got the ability to pop in a marathon world champs and still hang in there. So, I guess.
I think that's what makes Barry Austin amazing because he looks at the comprehensive picture of you as a human being and every aspect of it and what influences it and how it works. Barry Austin has just got a natural touch with it. Yeah. He's without a doubt one of the best in the world.
Yeah, he certainly has made a big difference to many of the riders that he coaches.
Think about it. He's got an Olympic win.
Yeah.
He's got World Cup wins. He's got what he's done with Pauline was phenomenal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And also you can see it with Candice, her performance has improved since she started training with Barry. And it's great that he's a South African because he's very accessible. I often send him a message just to find out about the course and the weather conditions, just so that I know how to predict my riders for the World
For
Cup.
you two, your little.
So that's it. That's how I keep on losing this game.
Inside knowledge.
Yeah.
You've got Nino to ask, so you've got your insights there as well.
Yeah, this weekend will be a good one. I'm sure. You can also see the riders peaking now and what's fluctuating and what's not fluctuating.
Yeah, often the riders that start off really well don't necessarily, it's impossible to peak for the whole season. So you'll see different riders coming through.
I hope Vanderpool's coming back again, but I'm not sure.
It's been very quiet.
Yeah. He's back on the road.
Yeah, I think the road his
he's
wrist can
back on the
handle. I
road,
don't know if
so-
his wrist will handle
Yeah.
mountain biking.
Someone that's quite exciting to me at some point that I really like is the Skimler Court. I think when she retires as a pro roadie,
Yeah.
bringing her over into mountain biking, winning an epic,
Well, she's really won an epic. And Vera won one.
she actually did.
Yeah. The year that Candice and Amy had that wheel issue.
But it's a rider that's really, for me at the moment, I don't really follow the racing on the road for women, but it's becoming exciting. I know she's got injury, I think, but it's something that's exciting.
Yeah. She had a crash last week, I think, in a race,
cracked
and she hurt
something,
her lower back.
Lower back or something.
Hip or something. She fell really hard.
But she's also one of the riders like Nino, and an important person behind the scenes that you never see is Andre Frischneck. The role that he plays in the background is really, it's amazing.
Really?
He's very analytic, like So his contribution to the team and taking the younger riders for technical skill on a course. Andre, yeah.
Really, eh?
Yeah. His contribution is really important. People don't see it,
So
but
he's basically an extension of his dad.
I think his dad is more in managing the team.
Yeah.
He's more kind of ride hands-on.
Okay.
Him and Bondi, the new team manager.
Okay.
Fushi is kind of the top umbrella now.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
but if you look at the contribution of Andre to the team, and if you look like Nino's contribution to the team, they play a bigger role than just winning races. And I think Kim is that kind of rider. She will be able, she can bring more to the industry. You know, like all of us, I mean, my main goal in the industry is leaving it better than I found it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
There's so many challenges every day.
Yeah.
But I think these athletes like Kim, like Cole Platt, like Nino, they've got so much to give. And finding a way to access that and giving that to the younger generation, that's the next big step.
Yeah, and I see Candice doing that quite a lot with Tyler. I mean, Candice and Darren were very influential and supportive of Tyler last year, her first sort of international racing year. Obviously, she's on a team now, so she's got that support. But when we had her speak to us in a podcast, she really did acknowledge how impressive and how important they were to her. And I think that kind of mentorship of the older riders or the more experienced riders is essential. And I suppose it's what Nino's doing as well. He's kind of giving back. Not necessarily, we don't necessarily see it because he's Swiss and there's obviously young Swiss riders coming through. But, you know, we certainly see it with Candice and Tyler, which is great.
And you can see it with Luke as well.
Yes.
We cannot forget about this kid. I am excited in a way.
Yeah.
If he gets under, well, he's got Benno now.
Yes.
But if he gets under the right management, in the right structure,
Yes.
he will be a future XCO World Cup winner.
He's actually got some key people around him that obviously South Africans are familiar with Benno and Ariane.
Yeah,
And
Ariane's been helping at the World Cups, it seems, in his support structure, but also he's coached by Barry.
Yeah, so it's actually,
You know,
I
and
like how the
he's-
industry's helped rally around him.
And
this
I
time.
think Alan is also playing an important role there.
Okay.
So
That'll be cool.
let's see. You know, it's maybe a rider for us as well for the future.
Yeah.
It's exciting. He's exciting.
Yeah.
There's something about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. He's got a little edge. And it's just exciting to see him. You know, I think he's probably, I haven't checked, but he's probably ranked in the top 15 now in the World Cup for this year.
He might be.
Because he's had a 5th, a 19th, and a, I don't know, 17th or something. So, yeah, pretty impressive. So, yeah, it's exciting having 2 South African males to shout for in the men's races.
Yeah, maybe.
He's not just filling the numbers, he's actually a
He's
contender.
competing.
Yeah,
He's there.
great. First year elite, which is impressive.
I think those riders in the first, I don't know if we're still recording, but those first riders in the Epic, in the first World Cups, I think they're tired. I think that's done. Season's gone.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too much. They dominated it.
Yeah.
What a platform.
Yeah.
What a platform. But
yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, when you go to Brazil, you don't have the same depth as a European World Cup. So you might as well, if you want to, you know, make a statement, go there, make a statement and get a good lead. And hopefully try and keep that, I suppose, as the season goes. But it's not as easy in the European World Cup.
what is this new girl? The New Zealand one.
Samara Maxwell.
There's something there as well that's quite exciting. I think her way is weird.
Yeah,
she's
I don't want to listen to her, but I want to.
Yeah.
You know,
It's one of those.
yeah. I hear you.
she's a bit too much for me, but there's excitement there. There's something there.
True.
Yeah, but
Samara.
they've made exciting racing. The cross country start to the season's been really exciting for the women and the men.
Yeah.
You know, there's been no, besides the first few races that was dominated, but there's like new people coming to the front all the time and challenging.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's great. Well, we've come to the end of our session, and it's been great having you chat to us, Joggie. Great to have you up in Joburg for a change. And I appreciate you making the time and chatting to us about some insights about the Cape Epic.
Sean, thanks for having me.